is up, everyone? It is DJ Garcia, Remy Garcia, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Avengers Part 3 and Avengers Part 4. Basically because, well, watch this video and you'll see. I'm the killer. So here we go. I've been wanting to talk about this for the longest time because I'm getting very excited because we're getting closer and closer to it. Avengers Infinity War. It comes out May 4th, 2018. Very soon, actually. I mean, we should be getting the first trailer any day now, I assume within the next 2 weeks. And then we have Avengers Part 4 coming out May 3rd, 2019. Literally like an exact year after Part 3. And I want to talk about the story because there seems to be some confusion about Avengers Part 4. And so in order to talk about what Avengers Part 3 and what 4 is, I have to take you back to 2014. It was around this time, you know, in 2014, October, November-ish. And so that was like 3 years ago. Oh my god. Marvel basically had this presentation, and it wasn't like Comic-Con or anything. They just put together this day where they announced like a whole bunch of stuff, and it wasn't, they even joked about it. They said sometimes we release information at Comic-Con, sometimes we do it like on a random Tuesday. That's literally what it was. They like rented out a hall and just decided, let's just reveal our plans right now. So this was 2014, right before Avengers 2 wasn't even out yet, and they announced Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Thor Ragnarok, and they showed a clip from Avengers 2 at that time, and then they announced Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. And so you gotta think, the original title for Avengers 4 was Avengers Infinity War Part 2. It was gonna be 2 parts. But then there was some confusion in Marvel, or like Kevin Feige. They said they're very 2 different films, and so they took away the title from Avengers 4, and so now it's just called Avengers 4. It's not called Infinity War Part 2 anymore. And that's when the confusion started, because people started thinking they're 2 very different films apparently. Avengers 4 is not going to be the same story as Avengers 3. I think that's not true. I think the same thing that's going to happen in Avengers 3 is just going to carry over onto Avengers 4. It's still the same story in both movies, but it's just they're different titles. And I don't get why people are making this confusion. They think Avengers 4 will be literally a different villain. They think it's going to be different characters. I don't know why people are thinking that. All they did was take away the title. And here's why I think Avengers 3 and Avengers 4 is going to be like the same story. But first I have to tell you what that story is. So we have Thanos. Thanos is the biggest, baddest villain that we have in Marvel. We first saw him in the mid-credits scene of the Avengers that came out in 2012. 5 years ago at this point, almost 6 years ago. So like 6 years since we've seen him. He's been in Guardians, he's been mentioned in Guardians 2, and he was actually in the after-credits scene of Avengers 2 in 2015. So he's been in here for quite a while, and now he's gonna be the actual villain in Avengers 3. Thanos is trying to collect all 6 Infinity Stones. And if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, it is explained what the Infinity Stones are. Even in Thor Part 2, it's even explained what the Infinity Stones are. Each stone is very powerful. Even one stone is very powerful, as we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. And we've seen multiple stones so far. In the comics, they're called Infinity Gems, but in the movies, they're called Infinity Stones. So I don't want any comic book fans coming at me. Like, I know. So Thanos is trying to collect all 6 of them, which would make him even like basically godlike. And so that requires every single superhero we have seen since the beginning of the MCU back in Iron Man in like 2008. It requires every superhero to come together and stop him. And so when you have a build-up like that, and you've seen him for 6 years at this point, and the MCU has been around almost 10 years now, I don't think he's gonna be in just one movie and get defeated and then they move on. I think it requires 2 movies. Plus, like I said, there's only a year apart between Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. It's only 1 year apart. It's the same directors, the same people are in it. I don't know why people are thinking that it's going to be this entirely different story in Avengers 4 when all they did was change or take away the title, and that's it. And by every superhero, I truly mean like every person we have seen in any movie will be in this movie to stop him. This movie is literally the culmination of everything since the very first Iron Man in 2008. Like 10 years of build up, 6 years, 7 years for our villain, and it's honestly going to be the most epic comic book movie there is. So I'm going to go down the list of what Infinity Stones we have seen so far. So far we have seen the Tesseract, which is that blue thing they use, the blue cube they use in the Avengers that Loki uses. That is a space stone. That is one of 6 Infinity Stones. And then we got the Mind Stone, basically revealed in Avengers Part 2, and it's currently in Vision's forehead. And then we got the Reality Stone, which is not really a stone, it's more of a liquid, which was first introduced in Thor Part 2. And then we got the Power Stone, which is of course the main plot of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And then we got the Time Stone, which was used in Doctor Strange. So far that's only 5 stones. There's one more left. But the last remaining stone is the Soul Stone, which we have not really seen yet. I'm gonna go down the list of each character that is in here, just so you guys like, I can't even explain it. So first off, we have Iron Man, Thanos, the Incredible Hulk, we have Loki, we have Captain America, we have Thor, we have Hawkeye, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, we have Scarlet Witch, we have Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, The Vision, Maria Hill, Wong, we have Gamora, we have Nebula, Groot, we have Drax, we have Rocket, we have Mantis, Black Widow, the Collector, Spider-Man, Falcon, the Black Panther, we have Ant-Man, and we have War Machine, and honestly, if that's not enough, then I don't know what to tell you. Not only that, we have new villains as well working with Thanos called the Black Order. This is the Marvel movie that I think, this is the comic book movie that we've all been waiting for, that fans like me and every other comic book fan has been waiting for. I actually have the comics that the story is based off of, Infinity Gauntlet and then Infinity War. I don't have the other one. I need to find it. And I'm honestly, like, I'm just explaining this video because I need you guys to know how big of a deal this is. Like, we live in the golden age of comics. This will be talked about in a documentary decades from now when there's different kinds of comic book movies going on and they talk about where it all started. This is it. So I think Avengers 3 Infinity War is going to be when Thanos is trying to collect all 6. And I do think at one point he will collect all 6, because then we have Avengers 4. And then I think in Avengers 4 is when he has all 6 and our heroes come up with the big plan to stop him, and then he'll be defeated. You know, because something like him requires 2 movies, which is why I don't think Avengers 4 is just a different story like people are saying. Also, again, they're a year apart. We have a couple movies in between those Avengers movies, like Ant-Man. We have Ant-Man Part 2, which is called Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then we have a new character, Captain Marvel. She's not new in comics, but she's new like in this universe, and her movie is set in the 90s. And she's kind of like, you know, she's a human, but her story is kind of more space and cosmic side of things, like Guardians. And so that would explain why she's been gone for a very long time, like why she wasn't here for the Avengers. You know, she basically, I think she's gonna get into space somehow, and she's gonna be there for a couple of decades, and then return to Earth whenever Thanos shows up. And then that's why I think she's going to be in Avengers Part 4. She won't be in Part 3, the one coming up soon. She won't be in there. But then her movie comes out in 2019, just in time for Avengers 4. So which is why it makes me to believe that she'll be in Avengers 4 to stop Thanos. Every character is in here, but I do think some characters are going to die, which is also why I'm making this video. What my predictions are on who is going to die in these movies. Because in comics, you have characters that could be around for the rest of time. With actors, they can't act as the same person for decades. You're gonna have to kill them off, and they're gonna have to pass on the torch to other people, which is why we have Doctor Strange, who is new. We have Spider-Man, who can have his own movies for the next few years. We can have another Guardians. Like we bring in these new characters like Captain Marvel, Black Panther. So some of the older people who have been with us for a while now, I think, have to die, pass on the torch, and just have the new Avengers. The most likely characters to die in Avengers 3 or 4 would be Tony Stark, since he's been with us since the very, very beginning, since he kind of started this all, and he's been, I think, in the most Marvel movies. It would just add much more emotional value to it, and it would just be extremely upsetting for everyone, and so it would make us kind of hate Thanos more as a villain. Or it could be Captain America, because he's such a good person that everything he does, and it's just, I mean, he's been with us for a long time too. The big 2 leaders, I think, are the most likely to die. But I do think 3 people are gonna die. I'm gonna go as far as say that 3 people, maybe maximum of 4 people will die. Characters, okay? Vision is very highly likely to die. A lot of people think because Vision has an actual stone in his head, Thanos needs all 6 stones, so a lot of people think he's gonna die. Maybe he'll take a stone out of his head and he'll just die. So Vision could most likely die at this point. And then maybe a lesser known Avenger, like maybe Black Widow or maybe Hawkeye, because he has a family and that would be really sad if he died. But that's basically Avengers 3 and Avengers 4 coming out 2018 and 2019. Such a huge movie. I mean, we should be getting a trailer any day, any week now. I swear within the next 2 weeks, because Star Wars is coming out, which is also owned by Disney. Saying Marvel is owned by Disney as well. And so I think if they put the Avengers Infinity War trailer out and they attach it to Star Wars, that way many people go see Star Wars and they see the trailer for Avengers. I think it would be perfect timing, a perfect move for them. Also, we're getting closer and closer to May and we haven't gotten a single teaser yet. I'm telling you guys, I'm ready for this. No trailer could come out and I would still go watch that movie many times. When I do my reaction to the trailer though, I'm gonna flip tables, I'm gonna flip this desk, break my camera, break my laptop. I'm honestly gonna flip out. But anyway, please give this video a like, it would really help me out. Comment down below, let me know if you're excited for Avengers Infinity War, and if you want to see more on my channel, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.